I'm Alastair Stewart, and for the first time on British television, live in front of a representative studio audience, we'll be hearing from three men, each hoping to be the leader of the next UK government in the first election debate. Good evening and welcome to the first election debate. Over the past 50 years, there have been numerous attempts to get the leaders of the three biggest political parties to debate with each other during an election. Tonight, history in the making, as we are joined by the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Clegg, the Conservative Party leader, Cameron, and the leader of the Labour Party, Gordon Brown. This debate will mainly focus on domestic affairs, important issues that affect our everyday lives. If you want to make your own comments and follow the debate online, you can do so by going to itv.com. Now, in a moment, we'll be taking questions from our studio audience, but first, let's hear a brief opening statement from each of the leaders, and we're going to start with Nick Clegg.
I believe the way things are is the way things have to be.
David Cameron.
I came here when I was 6. I've served in the Royal Navy for 30 years. I'm incredibly proud of my country.
We've just been going through the biggest double dip. Over these next few years, we will cut your police, your National Health Service, and we will protect the deficit.
I believe the way things are is the way things have to be. Now, that the only choice you can make is between two old parties who've been running things for years. I'm here to deliver complete chaos.
Thank you very much indeed. Our first question is from Gerard Oliver, who's a retired toxicologist from Cheshire. Mr. Oliver.
Good evening. What key elements for a fair, workable immigration policy need to be put in place to actually make it work effectively?
I've been listening to people. We want proper control over migration.
David Cameron.
Immigration is great. We're not going to control immigration. I was in Plymouth recently, and a 40-year-old black man, people abusing it so badly.
Had both major parties running governments over the last 20 years delivering a fair, workable immigration system that counts people in, counts people out, only makes sure immigrants come here.
And if you look at what's happening with immigration, the difference between the amount of people going to live overseas and those coming here, it's too much, love.
So I talked to a chef the other day who was training, and I said, in future, when we do it, there'll be no chefs allowed in. Then I talked to some care assistants, no care assistants.
A fair, workable immigration system. Complete chaos. Send immigrants to those places where they can...
We'll leave it there because we've got a lot of questions to get through, and you yourselves have said we want to get some questions, so let's go to the audience and...
Restore public confidence in an immigration system where people feel it's complete privilege.
See, I agree with Nick.
Could work, don't work. Well, it's absolutely true that the other side of the coin is proper welfare.
We can, out. I feel that we have got to do far more.
I'm incredibly proud of my drugs, and I think we've got to be much faster at getting drug addicts into the streets and lead free lives. I even went to a drug rehab recently in my own constituency and met a young man who told me we must be mad as a country not to get people drugs. And I think we've got to be much faster at the crime on our own streets.
I think, as I say, it's how do we make sure that the youngsters of today become the hardened criminals of tomorrow. It's that conveyor belt from nuisance at the beginning, antisocial behaviour in our communities, you know, yobs on the street corner who then become the hardened criminals of tomorrow. And I think what makes me so important is that, again, it's a bit like the immigration debate. So much tough talk from different governments of different parties for so long, and actually has turned our prisons into colleges, parks and streets. It has a dramatic effect on their behaviour. I want to change people's behaviour of tomorrow.
When I was young, my father...
I went to a Hull police station the other day. They had 5 different police cars, and they were just about to buy a £73,000...
It's answer time, David.
What matters is what comes out. I went to a Hull police station the other day.
Answer
Cameron,
time.
What
Cameron.
matters is what...
Answer
Cameron.
time, David.
What
Cameron.
matters is what comes out.
Now, our next question is from Helen Elwood, who runs a pub with her husband. Helen.
I own a pub, and people like to chat over a drink. Nothing's provoked more discussion than MPs' expenses. Given the recent scandals involving all parties, how are you intending to re-establish the credibility of MPs in the eyes of the electorate?
Craig.
Well, I don't think that any politician deserves your trust